What a week so far. If you are a John Cena fan, a Patriots fan, and a Bruins fan, welcome to Falls Count Anywhere on the Rhode Island Broadcasting Network. Erik Dunn here from Bridgewater, Massachusetts. I'll get into my Erik's thoughts regarding non WWE related things towards the end. Um, but yeah, and that's not going to be Celtics either. They're a mess. I'll get into them when they can get their act together because I want to keep this as positive as I can make it for all of you. Um, but before I go into WWE, I'm going to get the intro out of the way first, and then I want to give a shout out to a very special group of people in just 1 second. Um, you guys can find me every Wednesday night at 5. That is not on a holiday on YouTube, Kick, Rumble, at Rhode Island Broadcasting, live on Twitch at RI underscore broadcasting, and Twitter at Broadcasting RI. So for those that are watching us live right now, thank you so much for being a part of it. Please continue to help support us and help support this as WWE is getting into the home stretch of their calendar year. Sorry, I'm doing the now my face here. Um, and then please also follow the show when it gets podcasted on Red Circle, TuneIn, Spotify, and iHeart Podcasts at Rhode Island Broadcasting. That's RI Broadcasting, actually. And then follow us on our current social media platforms to get up to the date information. Patreon, Gab, LinkedIn, Space Hey, Blue Sky, MeWe, TikTok, and Parlor at RI Broadcasting. If you want to be a financial supporter for this program or going on daily or sports unfolded, please support us at rhodeislandbroadcasting.net so you can join the family. This broadcast of Falls Count Anywhere is the exclusive property of Erik Dunn Productions, Rodrigo, and Rhode Island Broadcasting for the use of our audience. Any publication, reuse, or redistribution by anyone is not prohibited and is given the express consent to be shared and is greatly appreciated. So before I go into WWE, with yesterday being Veterans Day, I want to take this opportunity as I did for I'm DUNN with sports. I'm done with sports. That's with 990WBOB.com, where Ryan and I are neighbors with the platform. Um, I just want to let you guys know real quick too that I'm going to make the announcement for I'm done with sports next week. But I'm done with sports next week will be the final show for this month. They will be off on the 26th in 2 weeks because that's the day before Thanksgiving. But overall, for I'm done with sports and FCA, the final show for both will be on Wednesday, December 17th, with Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve both on a Wednesday. We'll be taking up the last 2 weeks of the calendar year, and both shows will be up and running on Wednesday, January 7th. So just keep that in the back of your mind as well as we officially hit December 3rd. That's when I'll give you guys kind of like my breakdown for how it's all going to run. Um, but that was the update I want to give you about WBOB. But I want to give a very, very special shout out. I can't speak for all of us, but I can definitely speak for myself and Ron Rigo on behalf of Falls Count Anywhere and the creator of Rhode Island Broadcaster. We want to send out a huge shout out and a very special thank you to all of the men and women donning the colors to help fight for our country and help to protect our freedom every day. So I could be here, so Ron and I can be here to do our stuff together. Um, as somebody that is an Army grandson whose grandfather served for 23 years, he was based down in Korea a long time ago, back during a time where the world was tough to live in. I unfortunately lost him when I was 12, but he made sure that before he left this planet to instill in me the responsibility of making sure that whenever I see somebody that is currently serving in the armed forces or have served, Navy, Army, Marine, Air Force, to properly shake their hand and thank them. Because if it wasn't for Jesus allowing the stars and God making sure that He would put the right people in place, I'm not standing here right now, and I wouldn't be sitting here on my couch giving you this show. So I want to make sure that I take a little bit of a portion of this show tonight to properly say thank you to all the men and women that are currently overseas with how hectic and chaotic the world is now. Thank you very much for all that you're doing for our country. thank you for what you do on a daily basis because we don't think we could even comprehend the basic training you guys go through, the amount of setbacks you guys have to deal with, the obstacles you got to jump over, the walls you got to run through. It really takes a special human being to be a member of the Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marines, even for an EMT and for a fireman and for a policeman and for the doctors and nurses. It takes a really special person to donate your time, put your lives on the line, and be in a business where saving others and protecting others and helping others is what you make your money on, but it's for the greater good of trying to make the world better than where it was before you found it. And that is something that I don't take for granted. It's something I don't take lightly either. As an Army grandson, as I mentioned a second ago, and I have a lot of love and a lot of respect for those people that don't get a lot of thank yous, in my opinion. They don't get a lot of credit or they don't get like a lot of respect for the work they have to put in and the sacrifices they make. All these soldiers that don't get to come home to their families for the holidays, some of these soldiers that lose their lives overseas and the families never see them again. You know, the biggest thing I can say right now that's non-political is put your faith in God and count your blessings every day. Because if you think you really have it bad out there, there could be somebody else overseas in whatever country that they're in that is literally getting shot at in war right now and is literally fighting just to make it to see the sun rise the following day and counting down the days where they can go see their wives and their kids and their families. If you woke up this morning, you're in a much better position than what many of these soldiers go through. PTSD and just so many things that really weigh on the mind, soul, and body of what a soldier really means to this country. And I know it's hard sometimes when it comes to our freedom with the world we're in now, but don't take a soldier's sacrifice for granted because you never know what could be um, behind the suit, behind the person wearing the hat, wearing the badge. You never know what they could be going through, especially also the ones that's wearing the stethoscope, the ones riding in the ambulance. You know what I mean? Like the ones that are putting the gun on their hip, or the one that is way down in the heavy suit with the fire hose. You never know what they could be dealing with on a daily basis. So please extend your gratitude to them. Not all people that serve this country are bad. And listen, there are some bad people in the world that we have, but not everybody in this world is bad like a lot of people like to think. So that's the message I just wanted to give, just to thank all the men and women. And believe me, it definitely puts a lot into perspective with Thanksgiving 2 weeks away that, gratitude and thankfulness is not a right, it's a privilege to have. And living and still being alive today is a privilege, not a right either. And that's the message I just wanted to give real quick. So thank you so much for all that you do. With that being said, now on to WWE. And that's also something else that they also did like a long time ago. Tribute to the troops, salute to the troops, where a lot of the Raw and SmackDown guys would go over to Iraq, and they would hold like a special night in December to do tribute to the troops. I definitely missed that because that was live at one point on like USA at times, and I think even NBC did a couple specials on that too back then during Saturday Night's main event in mid 2000s. Um, but going backwards and starting back over for a little bit, SmackDown last Friday night had a little bit of a different story. Excuse me here. The situation with Drew McIntyre escalated to where he is now officially suspended from WWE after attacking the WWE champion Cody Rhodes and an official towards the end of SmackDown. But in the beginning, Zelina Vega slapped Cody Rhodes after Aleister Black came out to challenge him. The United States champion, Elijah Dragunov, he is continuing John Cena's tradition of the U.S. Open Challenge, the U.S. Title Open Challenge every week. He defeated Johnny Gargano. Um, The new women's champion, Jay Cargill, delivered a fiery address. Nia Jax defeated Charlotte Flair. Um, Chelsea Green defeated Julia in 30 seconds and cheated to win the United States title. Taylor Tonga defeated Ray Phoenix, and then Cody and Alistair would end up in a no contest because McIntyre and Black executed a 2-on-1 assault until Damian Priest came out to help out Cody, and then it hit thing. Drew hit him with a claymore, and then a referee, and then Nick Aldis, SmackDown GM, announced that he was officially suspended. I got a strong feeling that might linger into Survivor Series if he doesn't get cleared by then. I'm not too sure. However, you don't know. But I'll get into that in just 1 second. But what happened on Raw Monday night? The final time John Cena would appear in Boston as a in-ring competitor at TD Garden. So the first thing I was trying to figure out, right, was what was the shirt he was going to wear? Because for each city he would go into, right, he would have a specified shirt for that appearance. And if you can imagine, they're all up on WWEshop.com. I guarantee the Boston one is still up right now. I'll have to go back and look. But it was literally the shirt of a banner, the Celtic banner. It was literally one of the coolest logos I've seen. I mean, would I wear that? Possibly. Celtic green for Cena? Maybe. But pretty cool thing too. The Commonwealth of Massachusetts declared that to be John Cena Day too. That was a cool thing. And you want to know what was even better than that? John Cena is a Grand Slam winner. He is finally Intercontinental Champion, which I did not think was going to happen at all unless it was during Survivor Series, because that's in San Diego at Petco Park. That was the one title left off his resume that he sorely needed, and he got it. But here's what happened, though. So in the beginning of Raw, when it went on Netflix, Paul Triple H Levesque gave a really wonderful introduction to John. And, you know, he's also a New England guy growing up in Greenwich, Connecticut. And it was a great intro. It really was. Like, that was a sign of respect. And then Dirty Don, being the bastard he is as a heel, came out to interrupt. And, hey, listen, I'll give him credit in his promo, too. He gave him one chance out of respect to his father, Rey Mysterio, the real master of the 619, and said, I'm going to give you one chance to get your ass out of here. One chance. And Triple H said, nope, you blew it. Now you're going to have to defend it. And I could not believe that he actually beat him. He actually beat him. Now the question is, when's he going to lose it? Because I don't believe he's going to retire and walk out with it. I don't think that's going to happen next month. However, you guys are aware of the Last Time Is Now tournament. Rusev defeated Damian Priest to advance. Cody and Jay helped CM Punk fight off Division and Logan Paul. Stephanie Vaquer retained her women's world title against Raquel Rodriguez. And then guess what happened? Nikki Bella turned heel and attacked her. What followed up next was a censored chant that Netflix quieted down intentionally. It was Cena left you. Because you guys can remember Total Bellas from 7 years ago? John and Nikki split because John wasn't ready to be a father and Nikki wanted to be a mom, and they split. It was literally like ruthless, especially for Boston. I didn't think they were going to do that. Funny nonetheless, but I'm like, that's a little harsh though for that, you know. And then Sheamus defeated Shinsuke Nakamura, so he advanced in the tournament. And then Rhea Ripley and Io Sky returned from their injury to help out Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss to hold out Judgment Day. I guarantee that will set up War Games, because that's exactly what will happen for Cody, Jay, and Punk against the Vision of Logan Paul. William Regal, he said the thing, War Games. I think everyone's been waiting for that since he went to AEW too a few years ago. That was awesome. So that was Raw. To wrap this part up, The 5 most intriguing storylines going into Survivor Series. Just waiting for the logo to pop up. There it is. All right. The 5 most intriguing ones. Number 1 is the Last Time Is Now tournament because half of the field is already known. You've got Sheamus and Rusev. They advanced. And then you got the Miz, Jey Uso, LA Knight, and a mystery opponent who are all veterans. This could turn into the best storyline of the year. Possibly. Dom and Rey Mysterio, you got to keep that in mind because San Diego, could that be the passing of the torch from father to son? Everybody loves Rey, but there's a strong faction of Dirty Dom supporters, and they're growing. Possibly. Logan Paul and the Vision. Is Paul the new leader? How will Braun Breaker accept that? If Brock joins the group, what does that do to the other 3? Not sure. The MFTs and what may lie ahead for the Wyatt 6, I'm not sure about that. And then Cody and Drew. With Drew getting suspended by Nick Aldis for inserting himself in the main event, he attacked referee Dan Engler. The continual nuggets of the American Nightmare doing low-key shady things add to the storyline, but it's where McIntyre takes it. So do you think maybe there's a heel turn for Cody? I don't think so. I can't really say. So that's what I have about Survivor Series. Now, to wrap this portion up, here's Erik's thoughts. Okay? Here is Erik's thoughts. And for those watching on Twitter, not Twitter, also Twitch, thank you very much for supporting. Erik's thoughts, though, non-wrestling. Patriots with a very, very short week. They play the Jets tomorrow night. They reveal their new Northeaster jerseys, and it's the only time they're going to be wearing them this year. So make sure you guys get a good look at those. I'm interested in seeing how it'll look on the players on the field versus like at the pro shop or something like that. But 9-2. 9-2 could actually be possible tomorrow night. Checker Power from Twitch, thank you for watching. Appreciate it. Watch out for the Pats on a good rhythm. I think a lot of pieces are in place right now. And, they're off for 10 days after that to prepare for the Bengals on the 23rd. So I hope you guys enjoy the game. I know I will. I'm staying up to watch it for sure because that is an important game for them. They could go, what is it? Beat the Bills, beat Miami. I believe with the Pats right now, I believe based on where they stand that they have a 3-0 record right now against the AFC East, if I can make that accurate. Correct. Right now, so with a win tomorrow, they would remain undefeated in that stretch. I also just want to give you guys this as well. So their games against Buffalo and Baltimore, Bills and Ravens, those are the only 2 tough games that they have on their schedule. I think that, in my opinion, they'll be all right based on what happens. Do I think they'll lose one more? Probably. But, I mean, they're on a good streak, Hey, listen, don't knock it if it's working. But just to give you guys a quick little summary here. So points scored, they're 4th in the NFL with 265. Points against, they are number 7. They're 7th with 192. They have a differential of a plus 73, which is 6th in the NFL. But guys, right now they're the number 3 seed in the AFC if the season ended tonight. But if I'm the Pats, go after that 1 seed and get the first round bye and get the home field. Get the home field and get the bye. I would love to get the bye, in my opinion. But hey, listen, plenty of time to go, 7 games. But Bruins, if you're a Bruins fan, because Ron and I were talking about this before I went on air, Providence and Boston are doing great. Province Bruins, they're 10-1. They got the Wolfpack tonight. Then they come home for Saturday and Sunday at the Amp for Marvel Weekend. Utica Comets and the Laval Rocket. I'll be there on Sunday. And then on the Boston side, they've won 7 in a row. They're 11-7. They're making use of what they have, which isn't much, to be honest with you at all. But it's a great time right now if you're a Pats and a Bruins fan watching it from both sides here. They are going to struggle. However, there is many months of hockey left. But for the Pats, time's dwindling down. There's 7 games remaining. And their lead in the AFC East just increased because the Bills got trounced by the Dolphins. I don't know how they could have lost to them. A lot of good pieces, guys, are in place. They could sweep November, possibly. That would be phenomenal. I mean, if they could walk into December 10-2, think about that. Monday Night Football with the Giants on ESPN is on 12/1, December 1st. Nationwide spotlight. That could be huge. I was shocked that they weren't flexing games out. You know what I mean? I was shocked at that they weren't flexing games so the Pats would get more of a spotlight chance. Because that game against the Bucks on Sunday, that should have been a 4:25 kickoff. That game was arguably one of the best of the year. It was back and forth. It was a grind. It was a battle. It literally came down to the final minutes, and it was a hell of a match. It was a great game. The Pats are showing fight and grit, and that's the special part about it. So with that being said, the Eriks Thoughts will continue into next week. Raw and Smackdown preview and recap as well, and then Survivor Series Wargames, anything else that happens, and the Last Time Is Now tournament, we'll update you there. On behalf of the man behind the scenes, Ron Rigo, the creator of RIB, Erik Dunn here saying so long and thank you from my home in Bridgewater, Massachusetts. This has been a presentation of Falls Count Anywhere on the Rhode Island Broadcasting Network. Once again, a very happy Veterans Day. Thank you so much for all you do, all the men and women. God bless. And thank you so much for watching as well as for listening.